Back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school, the world felt like it was closing in on you if you were a guy my age. Short breath. No, looking back now, it's hard to believe how it all started. I was just 22 in 1966, fresh out of nursing school in St. Paul, Minnesota. Snowy winters, quiet life. My family had a small farm, dad milking cows at dawn, mum baking pies for church suppers. High school sweetheart Tom proposed right after graduation, but he had that bad knee from football, got him a deferment. We talked about settling down, me working at the local hospital, him at the mill. But Vietnam, it was on every TV, every dinner table conversation. Boys from our town shipping out, some not coming back. My older brother Eddie, enlisted in the Marines early '66, sent me letters from boot camp, scared me half to death. Sis, it's hell, but we gotta do it. I couldn't just sit there, knitting socks or whatever. Felt this fire inside, like I had to help. Patriotic, sure, but deeper. Wanted to matter, to hold those boys' hands when they were broken. So I joined the Army Nurse Corps. Recruiter said, back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school, the world felt like it was closing in on you, if you were a guy my age. Short breath. I'll be safe, Lieutenant. Evac hospitals, not the front. Lied through his teeth. Worst case, I'd patch up a few sprains offshore or something. God, was I naive. Training kicked off at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Hot as Hades, us girls in starched uniforms learning triage, sutures, burn care. No guns for us. Geneva Convention protected medical folks, right? Drills were intense, simulate mass casualties, blood bags everywhere, actors screaming. Prioritize, they'd yell. Learn to spot the dying from the savable. AIT followed. Field medicine, choppers, malaria protocols. By spring '67, orders, 93rd Evacuation Hospital, Long Bin, Vietnam. Flew commercial to Tan Son Nut, stewardesses handing out gum, but the air shifted over the Pacific, landed to that wall of heat, jet fuel mixed with rot and smoke. My heart pounded. What have I done? But no turning back. Long Bin was massive. Bunkers, wire, Quonset huts like a metal maze. Assigned to surgical ward, rows of beds, fans whirring against the humidity, bugs buzzing. We were mostly women, 20s and 30s, lieutenants and captains, fatigues and helmets, always ready. Shifts, 12 hours minimum, often 18 when dust-offs poured in. Treated grunts, Marines, ARVN soldiers, even VC sometimes, under guard. But the river boys, those PBR crews from the Delta, they'd come in muddy, feverish, shot to hell. Narrow escapes on the Mekong, ambushes in canals. One kid, engineman leg shredded by shrapnel, kept muttering, the boat's gone. Held his hand as we amputated, tears in his eyes. Tell my mum I'm okay. Broke my heart every time. Over 18 months, I extended 6, couldn't leave my girls. I must have done 600 shifts, saw thousands, guts out, limbs mangled, faces burned. But 5 times death knocked right at my door, not like the boys in firefights, but close enough to feel its cold grip. Makes you know, back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school, the world felt like it was closing in on you. If you were a guy my age, short breath, question everything, fear, faith, why, Back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school, the world felt like it was closing in on you, if you were a guy my age. Short breath, still breathing. First knock, Tet Offensive, January 30th, 1968. We'd heard whispers, VC massing, but Long Bin was secure. New Year's truce, they said. I was on night shift, checking IVs in post-op. Kid with belly wound, whispering about home. Then sirens, mortars, whoomp, whoomp. Ground shakes, lights flicker. Incoming, someone yells. We dive, helmets on, shoving patients under beds. My hands tremble. Nancy, my bunkmate, grabs my arm. Stay low. A round hits the adjacent ward. Explosion deafens. Shrapnel rips through. Nancy screams. Nick in her arm. Blood soaking her fatigues. I freeze, heart in throat. This is it. Overrun. Sappers breach the perimeter. AK fire popping close. I clutch a morphine syringe like a weapon, scalpel in the other. If they came, rape, torture, the rumours chilled us. Hunkered with that kid, no legs now, his eyes wide. Ma'am, don't let 'em take me. Tears streamed, mine too. We held till dawn. Arvin troops and MPs repelled 'em. Lost 3 patients to the chaos, Nancy stitched up. That night, adrenaline gone, I sobbed in the latrine. Letters from Tom clutched. Why me? Why spare me? Mum's prayers back home. Maybe a guardian angel. Pride swelled later. We saved dozens amid hell. But fear lingered, changed me. No more innocent farm girl. Tangent here. Us nurses. We coped with humour, dark as it was. Called the OR the butcher shop. Joked about VC fireworks during barrages. Kept us sane. Bonded like sisters. Late nights sharing cigarettes, talking dreams. Mary from Texas wanted kids. I dreamed of Tom's arms. Those bonds. Lifelong. Second knock. Rocket attack. August 68. VC hated hospitals. Saved their foes. Day shift. I'm in ICU. Adjusting a ventilator on a PBR gunner. Backblasted by grenade. Sirens blare. Rockets incoming. Dive under gurney. He whispers, "It's okay, Mom." Explosion rocks the supply tent. Flames roar. Screams pierce. Shrapnel rains. Peaceberries in sandbag by my foot. Inch left. My head. Heart races. Smoke chokes. Fire spreads. We grab extinguishers. Treat burns on the fly. Lost 2 nurses. One to blast. Another trapped. I bandage Doc's hand. Mine gashed from glass. Blood mixes with tears. Why them? Guilt crashes. Survivors wait. Pride. We pulled 20 boys through, stabilised amid inferno, but emotional, crushed. Wrote home that night, ink smudged with tears. Tom, hold me soon. Started seeing divine plans, God keeping me for something. Growth, from scared girl to steel-nerved woman. Third, convoy ambush, March 69. We volunteered for outreaches, delivering meds to villages, building goodwill, escorted by MPs on Route 1 to Bien Hoa. Jeep ahead hits mine, flips, flames. VC emerge from reeds, AKs chattering. Bullets ping, I'm in deuce and a half back, heart slamming, pull wounded driver in, his gut open, blood hot on my hands. Hang on! Bullet zips past ear, tears canvas. Unarmed, I press gauze, pray. MPs suppress, convoy lurches forward. Back at base, knees buckle. Adrenaline ebbs, sobs rack me. Thought of sister pregnant. Want to hold my niece. Fear clawed deep. Why risk it? Pride in saving that driver. Emotional toll. Heavy. Dreams haunted by that zip. Faces of the lost. Fourth. Monsoon hell, October 68. Delta rivers flood, choppers ground half-time. Wards overflow, triage in pouring rain, boys dying on stretchers. Night shift, wading mud to helipad. Lightning cracks, wind howls. Huey lands hot, skids on slick pad. Rotor wash slams me down. Tail rotor whirs inches from head. Feel the whoosh. Pilot shouts, sorry, but I'm trembling, mud in mouth. Close, too close. Back inside, weak, thinking Eddie's letters. Sis, you know, back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school. The world felt like it was closing in on you. If you were a guy my age, short breath, my hero. Extended tour then. Couldn't abandon my team. Growth, immense, from homesick to resilient. Fifth, malaria, December 68. Exposed daily, no gloves, supplies short. Fever hits like truck, 104, chills, hallucinations, rivers of blood, boys' ghosts begging. Delirium, why me? Doc says, almost lost. You know, Back then, back in 1965, soft pause, when I finished high school, the world felt like it was closing in on you, if you were a guy my age. Short breath. Quinine pulls me through, but weakness lingers. Reflected hard. Family, faith, pride in enduring, saving others. Repetitions? Yeah, days blurred, same wounds, same screams. But emotional layers, fear constant, but pride in sisterhood. We laughed at angry ducks stories from PBR boys, cried over lost ones. Home, 69, protest spit, baby killer. Town parade healed some. Married Tom, 2 girls. Flashbacks fade, but VA volunteering helps. Grew from 22 to 40 in months. Guardian angel, absolutely. Proud, saved lives, found strength.